I'd love to introduce my brother, Tom Mower Jr., and co-founder and CEO of Sisel. He'll kind of talk about what we've all been talking about this last week and what that means to us.
Thank you, Leisel. It's great to be on the call and be part of this wonderful call today with so many people. And I see a few familiar faces from years ago on the call. And, it is definitely a road bump, a speed bump that has occurred over the last week. But one thing about growing up with Dad, as you know, where one door closes, multiple opportunities become relevant and possible. The nice thing about the change, the people who were part of Mower, former New Ways, before that Images, our original company, before we even changed the name to New Ways, it was the Mower mission, and this is a continuum of that. Many of the wonderful products I formulated at New Ways that people were still enjoying up until last Friday. Revenol, Maximol, Alleviate, Endow. I mean, there were so many wonderful products. And so it's a real compliment to those products that people have stayed so loyal to them for all these years. And I'm flattered as the research chemist that designed those products that people stayed in touch with that. One component of the Mower mission is to research the research. And so, in fact, Maximol was the only product that I personally ever patented. And when, with our family, we had obviously some struggles. Our parents went through a divorce, and that brought about, unfortunately, that we had to basically hand our baby off to somebody else. And I'll say thank you to them for taking good care of so many people for so long. Maximol, at that time, when Dad tasked me with, we need the most powerful trace mineral product out there when colloidal minerals were big. Well, I developed that out of the research that showed that we consume ionic minerals through plants. And so where did I go? When were plants the most pristine? Millions of years ago. And I found here in Utah, we have a lot of, as dry as we are, we look like Alice Springs or close to it, desert. We don't have kangaroos though, but one time we had dinosaurs and rainforests. I found huge deposits of fulvates and fulvic acid, trace minerals that have been deposited, and we made the most powerful product on the market. Well, I've incorporated that same fulvic acid or fulvates in a half a dozen products we have now. Revenol, the time Dad said, pignogenol, white pine bark, all these one ingredient antioxidants are powerful. Well, science at that point was showing that multiple forms of antioxidants had a synergistic effect. Revenol had 7. Well, we have Spectramax now that has 40. And also I've included fulvic acid in it. And so it's the next evolution. The Model T Ford was revolutionary in the early 1900s. And now we have, Roscoe McLaughlin setting the land speed record in Australia with a Mirage engine, Things change. Because science is 5-10 years way ahead of what's on the market. And so many wonderful, I'll say friends from Australia that I've known for many years ago. In fact, when my hair was brown, not gray like it is now, we developed a lot of great relationships, really centered on 2 main facts. One, people want dynamic health. And that was a real mission I was on to help them solve that, coupled with a dynamic compensation plan that will reward them if they only wanted to pay for their products by signing up a handful of people, or if they wanted to develop a dynamic business and use the most highly compensating plan out there to do so and fairly do it without front-end loading. Unfortunately, the original people who purchased New Ways from us, they They got in a lot of hot water in Japan and barred from the market for 6 months because they were doing front end loading, things that we don't believe in. We want people to use the products they need. We want people to get their health back. We want them to achieve their dreams. Well, this is one of the reasons why we're so heavily invested in, unlike, the 99% in our industry, we manufacture, we research. By doing such, we can put more into products, make the best products, use the latest science, but we can also put more into the compensation plan. And so with Mower and what's happened there, I mean, heartfelt, I'm sorry to see that for so many people because of the frustration. But if we look past that, a whole new door has opened for more products, for the latest discoveries in science and weight loss and gut health and collagen. I mean, I applaud BioCell. Type 2 collagen is amazing. I used that back in the 90s for my horse product. I mean, it definitely will help rebuild a joint, lower inflammation, reduce pain. That's incredible. But here's the twist on it. I used it as a horse product, and I brought a horse product out here with that. There's 28 varieties of collagen. Type 1, type 3 benefits skin and hair. Type 2 doesn't do everything. And there's also another twist in type 2. You have to have a specific portion of it that's undenatured to be attracted to the Peyer's patch in our gut, so that our body recognizes the hydrolyzed version of type 2 collagen to help rebuild the meniscus in a knee. And so we studied the latest, the great BioCell's wonderful product. But unlike, even dollar for dollar, where we manufacture, we give 23.5 grams per serving, where I think they're about 4 grams of only one type, where we're looking to do more. Plus, we fuel ours with MCT oil, brain fuel, and collagen is an incomplete protein. It lacks the amino acid L-tryptophan, so we add L-tryptophan to ours too. So it can be used for more things. Wonderful products that Mower's brought out after the fact, but there is some later, greater science that can give us a bigger benefit for total health. There's so much we can talk about. We can talk about for days, so we obviously need to keep talking and discussing and helping people, that everything from just a product user that wants to have an energy drink that would help increase nitric oxide production, to increase blood flow and blood sugar, and now when we had Endow, that was a great product with diascorea and wild yam and wonderful. Well, now we have Energy for her with Equal that does even more for hormone balancing and women who are premenopausal or postmenopausal. And it's fascinating, as I talk to many groups out there, I'll ask them, what's your favorite product? And for some reason, men are the first ones that raise their hand and say Energy for her is the number one product. It saved my marriage for 34 years personally. And so there's a lot of great things out there in science, and that's really what motivates me. I spend a lot of time investigating and researching. That's why we're the most diversified manufacturer in the Intermountain area here in the western part of the United States, because I need the ability to encapsulate, to fill liquids, to do meal replacement shakes, to do dry blends, to tube, to pots and jars and bottles, and so much. Everything we've built here is to accommodate the Mower mission. I mean, I show many people the little wood shed Leisel that we started in. No power, no water, no heat. It all started with a dream, but it also all started with the ability to not just have faith, but to believe and put those beliefs into works to accomplish what people thought was impossible. It's all possible. We just have to stay the course, and the Mower mission will stay the course. Obviously we don't have any plans we're not a private equity, we're debt free. We're looking onto the future, the next generation that are moving forward. We still feel, we still we're motivated by the same things. We like to have dinner with you. We had some great people from Australia here last night that we had dinner with, and reminiscing back to the 90s and everything that's transpired. And we have an office in Tokyo. We have an office in Slovakia. We're a small company comparatively compared to where we're at with New Ways, but that's kind of exciting. Now with so many old friends rejoining our company, but still living the Mower mission, we're gonna turbocharge light years ahead because we have the people that understand the value of these products and the compensation plan. And they've been living the Mower mission for so many years now. And so, I think you were talking about this a minute ago, Lisa. We're going to do some comp plan training. We have even a more robust comp plan. We still have a coded marketing compensation plan like we had at New Ways. I made a real commitment when Dad passed 5 years ago. I will not change the comp plan. I might add to it, let you make more money, give you more ways to market and make money, but I'm not going to take away from that. I saw that as a real glitch with the former company, Mower, when they kind of shifted from some of that. So people have that ability. We have a lot of great new products, science to help build on the same basis of fulvates, fulvic acid. Nothing's ever beat that. I've expanded on that. More broad spectrum antioxidants than ever before. The latest discoveries in collagen, multiple size of compensation. But like I say, we're a relatively small company, even though we're international, but that's huge if you're a business builder. Boy, and there's never a better time than right now, because, being debt free and established in so many markets, one reason why I consider it a small market, we did not go out after our former friends with our other company. And like a lot of them, we just like how the Mower mission started, word of mouth. And it's just, even though we've had double-digit growth every year the last 5 years, people want great health. They want a vehicle that can propel them in building their business and fulfilling the dreams, that whatever that might be. And because of that, it's good, sustained growth. We're not leveraging for capital. We're not playing the stock market. We're not going public, all of those things that give you a stable platform to build to. Dad used to coin a phrase back with New Ways, and we say it with Sisel now, that the sun never sets on the Sisel world or the Sisel empire. It was the same with New Ways. We're going to expand because I guarantee you there will never be a day that people won't want better health. There will never be a day that there won't be entrepreneurs that want a business opportunity. And so with those two concepts in mind, only one thing can happen, and that is great success for so many people. Leisel?
Yeah, I love it. You look at all the people on this call, it's super exciting. You look at all the messages and people are just like, wow, someone just said, feels like we're coming home. We do this. Go ahead, Tom.
I was just going to say, and welcome home. I'm
exactly.
So excited. I saw those people the last couple of days, and I haven't seen them in 20 years. Yeah. In fact, we jumped on the phone with some U.S. distributors they know that I haven't talked to in 20 years because I didn't target that market. Why would I rob people who are living the New Age dream of that? I helped fulfill that dream. Okay. I'm not going to tell them they were on the right track. They were on the right track. And so I applaud. The number one principle in this industry is pick a company and stick with it. Yeah. And they did it. They joined the company, but more importantly, they joined the Mower mission. They liked what we were on to do, make better health, business opportunity, and we've continued on that. Unfortunately, on the legal side, sometimes things have to shift when you go through a marriage or something like that. They stayed on the course too. And so I would never want them to do that. So welcome back to everyone. We're so thrilled for you that join out there and spread the word, that because right now a lot of our good friends are out there saying, where do I go? What do I do? Continue on with what you've been doing. Live the Mower mission. We have the products we continue to develop. We have dozens of products that are coming up in the next summer, the next year or two. I mean, look at the camera. You wouldn't believe it, but for the last 3 weeks, I've been working on a natural L-tyrosine-based gray hair formula to make me look like I have brown hair again. We'll see if it works. Every 2 weeks, I'm taking pictures. They say in 4 months, the technology, it should work, but the proof is in the pudding. Just like, you go back 3 years ago, I said, I'm going to dive into gut health. And so my 2 sons, Thomas and Caden, you're going to spearhead this. You're going to dive into probiotics, prebiotics, enzymes, fiber, and everything that entails. And I'm going to dive hard into weight loss. Well, a year ago, I got on those 4 products. And Leisel, you know how the story ended. I gave birth to a small nation. I lost 70 pounds. And, I think there's some great opportunities there for gut health, because what we realize is 70% of our immunity starts in our gut. So we really targeted that. We brought out a wonderful colostrum product. It's standardized 40% IgG. That fires up our immune system. We're the only one that couples it with bee pollen. That's huge. And so we have 250 ingredients, allergies, immune system combined with that product. That's really taking off. We find education is the big concern we have with that. Is we're educating people. We continue to see sales increase with that. And so there's a lot of education that we need to help people understand these latest advances, because we've taken fulvic acid and antioxidants and collagen and so much more to the next levels that we need to help people. And so with that, Leisel, do you have any specific points you want to talk about? Or
Yeah, I just wanted to say we do this call every 2 weeks, but because of all this excitement and things going on, we're going to have a special call Sunday for us, Monday for you guys. You have in Australia a national holiday, so we hope it's a good time for you. But we're going to be getting on and talking about, I'm going to go over the Mower mission, what we've been doing all these years. Milo's going to get on and talk about the comp plan and how to get on, the best ways to use our comp plan. It's a little different for many of you. I love looking at all these comments. We've got a lot of people here who say, geez, we've been here with you guys all these years. And then there's a lot that say, oh, I'm a newbie and I love this. So, we're going to be talking to everybody. And we don't want to wait for 2 weeks to have this call. So please join us. I've already sent out a link. If you have not received my email, put your email in these comments. I'll also post it on our Facebook page with the link to this Monday morning call, 10 a.m. Sydney time. Still admitting people into the call, but we'd love to have you guys. We'll just be going over everything that is Sisel, what we've been doing, where we've been, and we'd love you to join us and kind of get that training. So join us.
One thing we should do. So I've had a lot of people that say, what about Oracle? What about Oracle Plus? Well, Encompass 360. And, we have something that's even, when I did that formulation, we actually had that designed in Australia, manufactured there. We have something so much more. And calcium K2, you take those 2 products, you're getting by far more vitamins and minerals, plus an antioxidant blend in a capsule form. Like I say, alleviate. We used to have it new ways. Now we have Thermarol. There's a lot of things back and forth. We talk about Maximol. Well, there's a half a dozen products that I put fulvates in a capsule form. We call it Body Shield. You buy Spectramax, our one product. Well, that's 6 times more than what we had in Revinol as far as broad spectrum, but it also has the fulvic acid in it the Maximol had. So that 2/3 of an ounce dose you take every day, you're getting those 2 products in one. You'll find that there's probably some better values dollar-wise. Our collagen B3, which has 3 forms of collagen, 23.5 grams versus 4 or 5 grams. Number one, it has a lot more collagen. I think it's a better price also than what a lot of people are used to pain, but it has a lot more collagen and types of collagen. And what you'll see versus like BioSeal, I have all the cofactors. You can't produce collagen without vitamin C. That one always kind of surprised me with BioSeal. Horses produce vitamin C. People don't. We've got to supplement with it. And so we had vitamin C. We had a series of B vitamins that are used in the production of collagen. We have a lot of the minerals, copper, selenium, and things also in that product, because you need the cofactors. You can't build a brick house with only bricks. You've got to have mortar, and you've got to have, rebar and different things too. We give you the whole complete package to build the house with this. And so there's training on a lot of this. I had some wonderful products, but I know you're going to see, we're so heavily invested into the research of these things. We can show you how these products that we have, a lot of times one product will take the place of 2 or 3 products. The nice thing about it is, as far as the harmful ingredients, well, we were the originators of that, and we've expanded on that. Even since that, we always do. And so, we don't have sodium lauryl sulfate in our toothpaste or in our hair shampoos, and no cocamide DEA. We're concerned about nitrosamines and phthalates and bisphenol A and parabens and formaldehyde. We went through a lot of lawsuits in the early days in Australia because we elected not to use those, and the common industry didn't want to say anything bad about them, even though science was there that showed that our bodies absorb them. And long term, we had more dermatitis, we had reproductive problems, we had hair loss, we had cancer rates they were associated with. And so we've continued on that mission for a long time now. So there's a lot of wonderful things out there. If you're with Sisel now, or if you're joining Sisel, I'll say again, because you've been part of the Mower mission, it's a continuum of time with having the most advanced nutritional products, but also having the most the commonality in the Mower mission. I think of thinking, as I'm talking about old products, Emperor's Formula. I don't know if they still have Emperor's Formula. When Dad went to China and discovered that down with the terracotta soldiers in Xi'an, China, and he was so excited to see the pharmaceutical wagon. Then he worked the deal with the Chinese government to bring that formula back. Well, you go back thousands of years ago, all they knew was that it was astragalus, and for some reason, astragalus helped people live longer. And the Chinese had even done the studies on rats and chickens and people. And they called it Emperor's Formula because of the fact they wouldn't let common people take it, because rats and even silkworms and chickens live 20, 30% longer. And so they didn't want the average people to have access to it. Well, I'll tell you, science has progressed on that. Now that we have electron microscopes and the human genome's been coded in the 1990s and identified. Well, science has found out that the astragalus, I know Emperor's Formula, if they still have it, it's still just going to be astragalus, but science has shown that it's the tip of a 3 to 4 year old plant that contains astragalosides 4 and cycloestragonol. Well, we extract that now because we know that it supports our body's production of telomerase. And there's a whole conversation we can have on that, because we can rebuild the telomeres at the end of our DNA. We know that people who die of natural causes at an old age have about 5,000 base pairs. Every time your DNA duplicates, they become shorter. The enzyme telomerase rebuilds that, and then it stops us from getting those mutations. So we have a lot of people who use our product TSX. Emperor's Formula is wonderful, but it's just astragalus. We only want that is active in repairing our DNA. And that's where the science has now shown that that's why it was beneficial thousands of years ago. So we've progressed from that. Emperor's Formula is wonderful. TSX is thousands of years ahead in the fact that now we've identified the components and why We've explained why people have the benefit from that. So we have a lot of great technology that we can discuss on these calls. We can pick a few. We can do some comparison. One thing you're going to find, I don't have a bad thing to say about any of their products because they have some great pieces of the puzzle. My quest in life is to put the whole puzzle together. And I don't know if I'll ever complete the whole puzzle, but I'm getting darn close in some areas. And so, yeah, we look forward to it. And welcome home, everyone. We're so glad to have you on the call. And if people are out there wandering around in the fog and wondering, what am I going to do with the Mower mission now? We'll tell them, guess what? The Mower mission continues, and we'd love to have you. If you just want to buy great products or if you want to build a business, we have even better compensation, and the world's never been brighter.
Absolutely. I love that. And I remember Dad saying when people would ask him, you had this product before, what do you have now that compares? And he'd say, science has grown so much through the years. The product we have now, it's vastly different than what we had before. So I love that you brought that up.
And that was always the first thing Dad and I'd always say, here's a new product. Now the next challenge is to make it obsolete. And so we're looking at a lot of things. We don't have a hair growth product. We're working a lot with that right now, and lots of things. We have a regular R&D meeting with all our scientists and lab people, and obviously I chair that, and we go through, hydration, energy, sports, have an incredible muscle building, 25 million invested in human trials on muscle building that came out of some great universities and hospitals, and one of our top products, Sisel Ripped, and we can discuss those things. There's some amazing science out there that is there that we've been able to take advantage of for the benefit of people. If not, you'd be surprised at how many studies sit on a shelf because the market wants to, you go to the store, they only want to have on the shelf what they know you'll buy. A lot of times we can't pronounce the words, the names of some of these ingredients, and people aren't aware of them. They're not going to carry them. That's the beauty of network marketing. We can share the story. More important, we can share our own testimony of dynamic health and how that is changing our lives and how it changes other lives. And then out of that, obviously, presents a business opportunity. And we've capitalized on that with the most dynamic compensation plan out there to reward people who want to focus on that. The more they focus, obviously, we have people now making over $1 million a year in Sisel. And so whatever level you want, we got a place for you. You're home again.
That's right. And as you guys can easily see, I'm here to talk about the fun things of Sisel. The products are fun. I love them. He's the scientist, and he makes all these great products, formulates them. He's way above my pay grade in that. So we love having him on, and I think he'll probably be a regular guest, as many of you will want to know about the products, what they do, how they were formulated, and he's the mastermind behind all of that. So I love that, and we're going to keep him on here. Love all the people who've been on this call, and like I said, we don't want to wait for another 2 weeks to have a call. So please join us. It's this Sunday for anyone in the U.S., but Monday, 10 o'clock Sydney time, please join us again. I'll put a link up on our Facebook page that gives you the details, and we'll be talking about the Mower Mission products, and then we'll go into a deep dive into the comp plan. So I've seen a lot of you giving me your emails on here. Please put them in there if I don't have them, and I'll send out another email as well to everybody else and let them know the details of that call. Love everybody's feedback on this. We're excited to have everybody on this call. It's been a tumultuous time. A lot of you have said, feel like the rug's been pulled out from underneath you, and we feel that for you. But we're here. We've got a great future ahead of us, and join us in this. It'll be a lot of fun. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.